Money. Green. It's what makes the world go round, isn't it? A core tenet of the American dream. Millions of people from all around the world, such as my own parents, have flocked to the United States with the promise of a better life, of being able to provide financially for both themselves and their children. We've been told that money is essential to living a fulfilled life, to being happy. But is money all we need to be happy? Is it an absolute, an essential? Or is it just part of a bigger equation that we all work to solve in our day-to-day lives? Hi, I'm Richard Shrivastava, and to answer this question, I took to the streets to investigate, and here's what I found out. Describe the process by which you picked your major. Did how much money you were going to make play a role in it, or was it more about how much you enjoyed the subject or a passion?
That's a good question. So my major is biology, and I think with mine, I definitely chose it based on interest, um, especially because with biology, there's not much you can do without going to like a master's program.
Right. And then also, did you feel pressured in any way to pick your major, or by either financial stability or parental input, or?
Not so much parental input, but I think by financial stability, yeah, because I could have gone down the road of majoring in kinesiology and then heading towards the road of physical therapy, but I knew that that didn't make a whole lot of money compared to the amount of debt that you go into from grad school. So I think I chose biology because it opens the doors to more things like physician assistant school and just places a little bit higher in the medicine field, which pay a little bit more than physical therapy.
Right. It seems like you've really done your research on this one. Next question. How would you describe how would you describe happiness? Is there a certain vision, a certain ideal you have related to that word?
I think that an important piece of happiness for me is contentness, but also kind of being interested in what's going on in my life. And I think that those things can sometimes be at odds with each other. So maybe I would describe happiness for myself as having enough of each of those things at the same time.
Right. And sort of as once again, a follow-up question, would you say that there's a certain amount of money that you need to be happy, or how big of a role it plays in happiness?
I do see money as playing a role in my happiness currently. I think that a large part of that is just, as I was mentioning before, I grew up in this area and I didn't realize when I was a child how expensive things were around here.
Right.
And I think that, you know, once you're paying for rent and trying to think about paying for a mortgage, that can not having enough money can limit your ability to feel the content piece of happiness.
All right, last question. What role does money play in your interpretation of happiness? Do you think there's a certain amount that you have to have in order to be happy, or?
I don't know if it's a certain amount. I think it's depending on the amount you have to be smart in how you use it. But yeah, ultimately, I think in order to live the life that I see for myself, I do have to have a significant amount of money. But the thing is that I want to be able to work for that money and earn that money.
You don't want to just like inherit it.
No. But I also don't come from like a wealthy family, so I think it's important to learn the principles and the value of money.
Absolutely. So to summarize, while money isn't an absolute necessity in gaining and maintaining happiness, it is important, if not an essential, to gaining and maintaining happiness in the long run. Now, this question was very important to me because as a son of immigrant parents, I've often been conflicted between the more familial-based, community-based value system and lifestyle I've been raised in, and the more individualistic go-getter lifestyle I've been accustomed to in America, which often prioritizes a much more individualistic lifestyle that hinges more on material success than the more holistic, family-based lifestyle I've been accustomed to and raised in. This question, along with many others, is something I've really enjoyed exploring throughout Cultures and Ideas, and the question of money and happiness intersecting between different cultures is something that hit really close to home and I was really interested in exploring. I'm Rishik Srivastava, signing off.